Welcome to the DARE podcast, where it is all about helping people overcome anxiety and panic attacks. The DARE app has over 1 million downloads and is free to download at dareresponse.com. Now, without further ado, here is the DARE podcast.
Cool. Okay, you guys, let's jump directly into it. We have 28 questions. We are going to try to answer all questions that have been submitted. Please forgive us if we won't go into too much detail on each question, so we can squeeze in all of them. Right, Michelle?
Yep. If we can't get to them, we'll, post it again for the next call, post it on the Facebook pages, right? So if we can't answer them live, that's what the app Facebook page is for too, right? So post there and then we can try it and tag me in there and we'll try and get your answers in there too.
Exactly. Cool. Okay. Michelle, how do I know if my brain is tricking me into thinking I now don't want to move abroad when I actually do want to, or if I have actually changed my mind and like living here now?
Right. Interesting question. And we do that. We second guess ourselves for everything, right? Yes. And then, yes, you can post questions here. We'll try and probably tie them into the questions that are pre-submitted. We try and answer everybody's everything about everything. So we'll do our best. But I think we second guess ourselves a lot, right? Anybody here in the chats? Do I not want to go because of anxiety, or do I not want to go because I don't want to go? And then we kind of, right? You get that a lot in your calls, people trying to figure out, like, is this because of anxiety or this because I really don't like this anymore? Yeah.
And I think that you should remind yourself of the reasons that led to your initial decision to move. Mm-hmm. And to go through them again. Has anything changed? Is something new maybe something new came up? Maybe you met friends there now and you actually like it. So I know that it's normal, right? To rethink such a decision. But my advice would be go back to your initial reasons, review them again. I think that will help you remember and see things more clearly.
Right. And notice if you're deciding to not go now because my anxiety is a little higher. Pay attention to those reasons, right? If I'm thinking I don't want to move now because, well, what if I don't meet anybody? What if I get anxious? What if I have a panic attack and I can't go back? That's the good old anxiety reasons, right? Yeah. But if it's like, well, maybe I do actually like it here. Maybe I don't have to move right this second. Maybe I can move in a few months. I can come back and revisit it and see if I do want to go here, if I might want to go somebody else. So does that help anybody get stuck with that? With making decisions, decision making is always something that comes up. Making decisions and unsure if you're making it based on anxiety or not. Anybody in the chat deal with that?
And if you do, anxiety loves indecisiveness, mm-hmm. Like the more you ruminate on something and go back and forth, should I not, the worse it gets. Okay. So usually we don't make, big decisions on a daily basis. So for those smaller decisions, just go with your first instinct. What you would usually do is usually what is right. And for bigger things, yes, you can wait till your sensitization has come down a little bit. And also remind yourself that nothing is forever and nothing is absolute. So even if you move there and you find that you absolutely hate it, you're not a prisoner. You can always move back.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Absolutely. All right. So
Michelle, DARE help in benzo withdrawal. I have severe 24/7 anxiety and I need some tips to overcome this.
Right. This comes up a lot too. Anybody here tapering off medication? Again, we're not talking about medication, but we're talking about how to use DARE in response to tapering off medication. Oh, Philip, perfect. There you are. Hi, Philip. So it's not going to feel good. Nobody dares do feeling good, right? Although we do, we just don't realize that we do. DARE means accept and allow whatever it is I'm feeling right now. You're not going to use DARE to feel better, or you would have done something to feel better. DARE is how I act in response to how I feel, how I treat how I feel. So you're going to expect to feel bad. DARE, what we teach is how to not fight feeling bad, because when you fight something, it magnifies it more. And so tapering off of benzos, any questions pop up where I see 24/7, it's going to be the same thing. If it's thoughts 24/7 or tinnitus or DPDR, if it's something that I feel shit all day long, how do I use DARE for this? That's exactly what you use DARE for. Say, I feel this feeling. This is it. This is what I feel. And I can't control it and I can't get rid of it. So now I can change the next step. If I can't get rid of it, I can change how I treat what's here. Does that make sense, guys? Like I can change how I treat what's here. And what we do is we kind of like keep locked onto it. We keep the flashlights on it. We keep focused on it. We keep doing things to check to see if it's gone yet. And it's like, well, you're trying to get rid of something that you don't get to get rid of right now. So you get to kind of sit next to it and leave it alone while this fluctuates. And that's how you use DARE.
Yeah. And also just to acknowledge that bands of withdrawal is usually, especially in the early stages, a miserable experience. So just expect that, be prepared for that. It's not going to be fun. And definitely go and ask your doctor if there is something he can prescribe you to make it just a little bit more easy. Mm-hmm. Somebody, Robert said, yes, those 24/7 anxiety sensations and symptoms make it difficult to practice DARE. Absolutely. I always say, like, if you imagine a scale from 0 to 10, 0 being zero anxiety and 10 being like the worst anxiety you can imagine, if you find yourself always stuck in this 9, 10 area, then definitely go and ask your doctor for some help, because you need to have some good experiences. You need to have some kind of achievements while practicing DARE in order to stay motivated. So usually, people, maybe they go up to an 8 or 9, but they drop back down, right, to a 6 or a 7. And the sweet spot is somewhere between 3 and 8, really, where you still have to work hard, but you also get to achieve something and stay motivated.
Awesome. All right, Aida, ready? I suffer from, do you say tinnitus or do you say tinnitus? Because I hear that, does it matter where you live, or do I just say it wrong all the time?
So we say tinnitus, but maybe I say it wrong. I always say tinnitus.
But everybody says tinnitus but me. But I talk to a lot of people that aren't from here. Who says tinnitus? I know that's not really the question. I say tinnitus. You say tinnitus. Anyway, nobody really cares about that. I suffer from during the last 6 months. Can this be caused by anxiety? What should I do to address this?
Yeah, not directly caused by anxiety, but as a consequence of heightened stress, right? So a lot of people experience tinnitus when they go through phases of heightened stress. So it can magnify it, but it does not directly cause it. And Stephen Gonder says, we say, hyphen. That is correct. Hi, Stephen. So yes, absolutely. And how to DARE through this? I assume this is another question that ties into that. You diffuse, really. It's the same approach. It's like, oh, there's that ringing in my ear. Python. I'll say Python once.
Python once.
So you notice it is there, but the more you focus, actually, tinnitus is a great example for how DARE works. Like you can exchange tinnitus with anything else, right? There it is. I hate this. I don't like it. But the more I stare at it, the more I will notice it. Yep. So really say diffuse meaning give yourself context. Yes, I have tinnitus because I have stress, and the stress could be due to anxiety or other things in your life at the moment. I'm not trying to fight this. I allow it. And if I really get scared of the tinnitus, like, oh my God, what could this mean? And what if this now turns into, I don't know, a brain tumor, or, all those catastrophic thoughts, right. You can run toward that fear. But most importantly, really just allow and engage, focus somewhere else. And usually the tinnitus comes down as your stress levels do come down, and all the tools and techniques that we use for stress reduction do apply here too, meaning relaxation, not as in to get rid of, but just to help your body, come back into homeostasis.
Right. And I love talking about tinnitus because it's one of those things. I might piss off some people on this call right now, but if you put yourself in a quiet room and you really listen to your ears, you will find something. You'll find it because you're looking for it. You'll find it. We all kind of have that. You can find that weird staticky look where things feel weird. You can go find the floaters in your eye, which has been like my go-to example this last week or two. You go find what you're looking for. Tinnitus is a perfect example of a noticing problem, because it's like, once you notice it and you go, what's this? Especially if you're in a heightened state, right? Things get cranked up. So now your noticing ability is even stronger. So now you really notice it. And if you're trying to get rid of, You will notice it more. So dare is not, I accept and allow, I accept and allow. Why isn't it gone? That is the loop everybody gets stuck in, right? Oh, I'm trying to accept it all day long, but then I check in and I look in, I see, is it gone yet? See, that's kind of like the problem. This stuff goes away. And I use this example a lot as like trying to forget about something. A thought leaves your head, but not with a direct approach. If you directly try and forget about something, you will just keep remembering it. Forget about this, forget about this, forget about this, just keeps it important. You accidentally forget about something by how you treat it when it comes up. So how you treat tinnitus when it comes up, how you treat a weird disconnected feeling when it comes up, how you treat a thought when it pops up, okay? Because if your end result is, shoot, it's back, it's not gone, and then you're using dare to control it. It's more like it gets a quick, passive, this is not a lot of time here, people. This is like, oh yeah, my ear's ringing. Next, right? And then you switch your focus, right? This isn't a matter of how long I've noticed something I don't like, and now how long and how much attention am I going to spend focusing on the thing I don't like? Again, the goal is not elimination. When you treat it as unimportant, it floats to the bottom of your radar.
Okay. Michelle, how do you rewire 40 years of agoraphobia? I don't remember.
Oh, yeah, sure.
I don't remember what it was like to have freedom in my mind or in the world. Taking a little walk doesn't give me the confidence or urge to go further. I don't know what to do. By the way, it has definitely helped lessen the panic attacks I get at home.
Yeah. And so rewiring is from your habits. What are you doing the most of? Are you spending most of your day at home? Are you spending increasingly more and more time out of your home with discomfort, allowing discomfort so that the discomfort becomes unimportant? Okay. So that's going to be how you move forward. You don't have to feel confidence to go out further. You can go out further non-confident, that's not a word, but like unconfidently, right? Tinnitus. You can just go say, well, I choose to go. Because what's going to happen is anybody who hasn't like really left your house in 40 years, you didn't leave for a reason. You didn't leave not because of your home, but because how you felt when you left your home. So it's never, ever about the situation. It's never about driving 1 mile or 50 miles or going to this cafe or flying overseas or taking a boat. I'm fighting how I think I'm going to feel when I'm somewhere else, and home is base, right? We go, okay, I'm out. I did it. I'm out. Home, back home, base. I'm safe on base. And if you're acting this way when you're out and acting this way when you're home, that's how you reinforce what's safe and what's not safe. So go out. I tell people, write it down ahead of time. That's your goal. And on Dare Advanced, this has been our theme for the month. We've had a habit challenge. And if your goal is go out more, then make it measurable and tangible. I'm going out every day for 10 minutes to a new store, period. I don't have to feel good or feel motivated or feel like I want to, or be at peace with my thoughts and say, 3 o'clock, time to go to the store. And you bring your feelings with you. And the more time you spend here, the more you get used to here without trying to get rid of how I feel when I'm here.
I would like to give you guys an analogy with weight loss because it ties in so beautifully to expectation, exposure, and, avoiding certain situations or not leaving your home. Why do so many people give up on weight loss? They have a plan. They're totally motivated, like, oh, I'm going to lose those, 20 pounds and it's going to be easy. I can do that. They go all in, and after 10 days, 2 weeks, 3-4 weeks at most, they're like, oh, I can't do this anymore. Why is that? It is because the amount of energy that we put into something, we expect the same rewards to come back. And if there is a disbalance, we're likely to give up. And the same goes with exposure. People who go and expose themselves, they think, oh, the reward is going to come immediately. I'm going to feel better, like my fear is going to be gone. If I just stick through that situation, I'm going to feel so much better and be motivated to tackle the next situation. But you must really understand that the reward, we have a daily dare on this, the reward comes after. It comes after a longer period of time. So don't go into and expose yourself with the expectation that it's going to help you immediately. It won't, it will suck. It is what it is. And you just go there and do it for the sake of doing it, and trust that if you do that and work through the DARE steps while you expose yourself, it is going to help, although you're not feeling it in the moment. And
Right.
the second tip I have for you, and it may sound weird, but it works beautifully. Everybody who's afraid of bodily sensations and adrenaline and cortisol and all of those sensations, try and pair them with something positive. So anything that is fun, but that also makes you a little bit anxious, like roller coaster rides or horse riding or e-bike or whatever it is that you, something that is fun, but that also triggers your sensations, because you will feel the anticipatory anxiety, you will feel the fear while you do it, but after that, you will experience the fun. And this is what your brain will remember and link. Oh, anticipatory anxiety, fear, but fun. So here you have a direct reward, which you don't have in normal exposure days. So what you could do is plan your exposures that you do alone without safety persons or crutches, but also bring in some fun. Go with your family and with your friends and engage in activities that make you anxious, but that are also fun. You don't have to do them alone, but in a group.
Right. And feeling good, like you were saying, like trying to feel good, and I did it, but I don't feel good because that's like the reward. That's also, it's not the goal. The goal is not to feel good. You don't see, like, it's like, that's not my reward, is at the end. If I can just get through this, I'll feel good. And that's when people get disheartened because they're like, I still felt shit. I'm like, no, feeling good is by accident. You feel good, not as a goal, right? It's like you look back and accidentally notice that you feel good. Oh, that was weird. I just did. And who's noticed that? Like you felt good as a look back. When you went out with no expectations and you just did this thing, you accidentally notice you feel better. And when you go at it as a direct goal, all you're doing really, if you're trying to feel good, you're truly just staring at, is the bad feeling gone yet? And we go find more of it. And so feeling good comes like as an extra bonus perk. It happens, but the goal of this stuff, going out and doing stuff, is go out with feelings and leaving feelings alone. Okay. And then doing that enough times, you will accidentally kind of not care about that feeling. The goal is not caring. The consequence is not caring. The byproduct is not caring by how you treat what you care about. It's weird. I wish it was different, but that's how it works.
See, Stephen just posted exposure to a comedy festival, for example. I did it on the weekend. It was great and frightening, but I want more now.
Yes. Comedy, exercise, sex, go do all those things, guys, right? Your body's in a heightened state, but you get to hook it to something nice.
Exactly.
All right. Can anxiety be curable? Of course, if you use DARE response properly, then it can be possible. So that's what was submitted. But I don't know, anything you want to say about that? Kind of the question and the answer.
Yes. Yes, definitely. I think the question was, is anxiety curable, right? And yes, it absolutely is. We've seen it over and over and over and over again. So, of course, people who once had an anxiety disorder, they usually are always a little bit more susceptible to anxious feelings. Not that they're now, they're going to get anxious all the time, but what happens is that we are much more prone to notice and label sensations and thoughts, right? Our lights are more sensitive. And as soon as an intrusive thought, comes across our mind, our anxious mind will go like, oh, that's an intrusive thought. But the automatic reaction will be one of, oh, okay, whatever. So I think this is the difference between somebody who's never had an anxiety disorder and somebody who has. But yes. It's really important for me to get that out. It is curable. Don't let anybody tell you anything else, right? If you put it, it's hard work, right? So while you do it, it is hard, and you have to stay motivated and work on your values and always remind yourself why you do that. And as long as you don't just white knuckle your way through it, but really work through it, it is curable.
And I will be the jerk that says, nope. Anxiety is not curable, because anxiety in and of itself is not a problem. Anxiety, just like is sad curable, right? Yeah. Anxiety is a feeling. And I think I know what the question really means. Like, I get it.
Is anxiety about anxiety curable? Can we call it that way? I think that makes sense.
I think I posted a while ago, like anxiety, like you don't eliminate anxiety to eliminate an anxiety disorder. It's the attempt to eliminate anxiety that creates the disorder, as much as I hate that term too. But it's like, I don't have to get rid of anxiety. But if I keep staying in getting rid of mode, my body will keep creating anxiety because I'm fighting. I just happen to be fighting the part of me that sends me energy to fight. So that's, oh yes, it's the disorder. When it's a disorder, okay, we all feel anxiety, right? And then it's how we treat anxiety when it comes up. That's really the problem. And absolutely that can be fixed. I hate that term too, but like it can be changed. It's more of like an anxiety habit. We get in the habit of every time we feel anxious, we have to do something about it. And this is to all my doers out there, all my fixers, all my controllers, tell me exactly how I accept and allow. It's really doing nothing. When that feeling rises, you do nothing. When it rises really high, you do even more nothing. You do nothing about this and you do more about life. So that's my little obnoxious version of saying the same thing, but in a different way.
Yeah, no, and I'm happy that you brought this up, because I think sometimes there is confusion around that, right? So anxiety is absolutely normal, not curable. We don't want to get rid of it. Like, it's a healthy response to many things. It prepares us and it provides us with energy and gets us into doing, right? When you have a deadline and you get anxious about your boss firing you, that's a good thing, because we'll get you to do something. But this is not the anxiety we are addressing here. It's the anxiety about the anxiety that inwardly turned focus, that when you start fearing yourself and obsessing about that.
Right. And if you feel anxiety again after not feeling it for a while, that doesn't even mean that's a setback. That means same thing. Oh, I haven't felt sad in a few months and now I feel sad again. Doesn't always mean my depression is back. So it's like how you treat sad, how you treat anxiety whenever it comes back up. So wanted to add that in there too. Anxiety can be felt whenever it's felt.
And I think what people mean with setback is, oh, my behavior is back.
Yes.
My rumination is back. My Googling is back. My focusing on it is back. So this is really what completes the cycle of a setback, not the feeling itself. Okay, Michelle, I would like to know, if I exercise, running, and so on, I'm getting a panic attack, adrenaline rush, can I still go on running, or is it too much for the body?
Well, if you're getting a panic attack and your gym is on fire, you should stop and leave the gym. If you're getting a panic attack and there's danger, you should attend to the danger. If you're getting if there's fear without danger, you can keep doing whatever you want with fear. If you didn't have fear, you would just still be running. Your body would be in a heightened state, but you wouldn't be also feeling scared. And what you're probably attending to is scared, or scared, like how I'm treating that feeling, right? So you're in no more or less danger, again, when you're having a panic attack or when you're having an orgasm. Your body's still in a heightened state, but we just tend to fight one more than the other.
Exactly. And just think about once for the worst or the most frightening situation that you could be in, like facing a bear alone in the woods and it's dark, okay? Just imagine how much adrenaline and cortisol your body would produce, and you would live, because this is what it's supposed to do, right? So if you have a panic attack while jogging, just keep on jogging. Nothing will happen at all.
Jog faster. You got more energy, right? Use it. Remember, it's on a loop. You're having a panic attack. Another term I hate so much. Your body's released a rush of hormones and chemicals and energy to do something. The problem is there's nothing to hook it to. So you're stuck with the bear energy without bear. So you're like, am I in any more danger? Because this fear reminds me of bears. Like, okay, well, if there's a bear, do something about the bear. But if there's no bear and your body's ready for bear, you act as if there's no bear. And so then that's why the point of engaging is just keep going. Do whatever you were doing before, because you're showing by your actions and behaviors that feeling is it's irrelevant right now. I might be full of energy. I don't have to do much of anything about it. I can keep running. I can keep doing whatever I was doing before.
Okay, next question.
All right, Aida. Sleep.
Oh,
go ahead.
Oh, no problem. Go ahead.
Okay. How do you work on sleep anxiety? The thoughts, what if I don't sleep tonight due to events tomorrow? Example, driving long distance for an event, or just general anticipated anxiety about tomorrow's commitments. If I try, I stay awake all night. I do. Thanks so much, girls. And Barry, your book saved me. Just need to try and not think about sleep / make it a big thing.
Well, you will have a hard time not thinking about it if you're fearing it. So don't even, try to control those thoughts from coming up. But you see, anxiety is always a fear of not being able to handle something. So if I'm afraid I can't sleep, I am also afraid that I won't be able to perform well the next day. And this is what is keeping me awake, and I'm trying to control. And then I get frustrated because it's not working. So the key is really in, first of all, trusting that your body knows how to sleep. You can't force yourself into sleep. Your body has done that for years and years. It still knows how to do that. And the second important thing is to trust yourself that even with little sleep, you will be able to handle it. If you truly, truly accept and are willing to experience that you can't perform as well as you would with a good night's sleep, it will be okay. The fear latches onto what if you can't handle it. It's this lack of trust that anxiety creates. And by really accepting and allowing and saying, you know what, I'm willing to have a shitty day tomorrow. I'm willing. Okay. I would prefer not to have it, but since this is what's going to happen, okay. Now anxiety has nothing to cling on more onto. But this is really the hard part, because people are not willing to have a shitty day the next day.
Right. And what you're doing at bed, it's unproductive behavior. Like, if the actions I'm taking are productive, then keep doing them. If every time I can go sleep, and I fall asleep, do that. That's awesome. I would do it too if that could make me sleep. But that behavior that you're doing is unproductive. It's not actually helping anything. Actively doing something is actively keeping your body awake. It's one of the biggest paradoxes of them all, between like people with heart palpitations really trying to calm down your heart palpitations, which keeps them up, and people trying to sleep. And if you are acting as if you're in danger, the last thing your body's going to do is think seems like a good time to fall asleep when there's a bear behind that tree. Let's go to sleep. No, but the problem is we treat sleep or lack of sleep as danger. And that's the problem. It's never about, like, I am not a very good sleeper. I don't really give a shit about my sleep. Like, my bells ring at other things. But if it's, I'm not a good sleeper, and it means something beyond that. It means more than I just don't sleep well tonight. We attach it to, I can't function. What if I can't push out and drive tomorrow? What if our favorite, never sleep again, ever, right? The forevers. What if I never sleep again, or I don't sleep and I go crazy, I'm locked up and no medication works? What are you doing right now that's helping your situation? Absolutely nothing. And it's really like, you don't choose to sleep. You get to lay down and let's see if your body falls asleep. But until you stop, you don't give your body a chance to fall asleep, right? You don't fight yourself to sleep. When you stop and you send the message of stop, your body then will fall asleep. It is another passive thing. It's something that your body does when you're passive. Your body calms itself down from a heightened sensitized state when it sees you're acting passively. Your body will fall asleep when it sees you're acting passively. When you're ready for sleep, you're ready for a fight. You're trying to fight yourself to sleep, and you're fighting what ifs of tomorrow, and you're hooking them onto better sleep so those bad things don't happen. It was kind of like two things: fighting ideas of the future as if I can prevent bad things from happening as long as I sleep. And I don't think any of that's working out for you, I would guess, right? Anybody get stuck with that? Anybody else with the sleep and fights of the what ifs of if I don't sleep? Yes, sometimes I did. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I think everybody
Nope.
is.
Okay.
Oh no, John, go. I came back from vacation last week, and for 3 nights, I didn't fall asleep before 3 a.m. in the morning. And like a few times, like, what the fuck? I should be relaxed, right? Sleep. Okay, I can't sleep, so I'm just going to lie here, right? No problem. It's not my body knows how to sleep. I'll trust it, and I surrender this control and everything that I'm feeling. I'm surrendering to my body.
Yep.
Next question for you, Michelle. Since I've had anxiety, I get easily irritated and easily angry about things. I feel like I have a different personality in that respect. Any advice for how to handle that? Will it eventually get better? It can affect relationships and my work.
Sure, because life is probably distracting you from trying to attend to your anxiety. Who else has increased irritability, right? And snappy and getting arguments with your spouse or your kids. Like, I'm busy trying to stay alive, kids. Shut up, right? That's pretty much what's happening. Life becomes irritating because you're so busy focusing on staying alive, right? I don't have time for this. So everything else is like irritating, like the fly around you. And so we get short-tempered. Because you're probably so busy here trying to fix all these problems, fix the non-fixables, right? And that's why everything else is like we're running out of patience. We're getting short-tempered. So pay attention to not just the fact that you're irritated. That's probably like a consequence of what you're doing when you notice being irritated, right? Oh, I'm so irritated. Why? Oh, do I feel like they're kind of distracting me from paying attention to my thoughts and sensations? Excuse me, kids, I'm busy ruminating for 12 hours. So I can't be bothered with that, right? So pay attention to that. You're probably spending a lot of your time throughout the day kind of like this and turned inward. And that's kind of like a remind you to let go and come back outward here. That's what I would say about that. You'll probably, again, that like irritability will probably be something that gets better as you practice no longer fighting all the other things.
Yes. And stop telling yourself that your personality has changed. We always love, to draw these conclusions and make this a forever thing. No, it's a temporary thing. I think I have not met one person who is not more irritable when they're going through anxiety. Not one, because you always feel on fucking edge. Right? It's normal. Other people feel that way when they're having, facing deadlines or when they have to deal with 2 kids or 3 kids while in lockdown. Like, ask any mother who worked from home and had kids how they felt. They felt the same way without, having an anxiety thing. So it's not always about, it's the anxiety. There's so many situations and reasons in our life why that could happen. And all these things are usually temporary. They pass.
It's when we speak and live in non-temporary, that's where we get stuck. And it's never the content of what you're calling me about. It's how you're talking about it. It's acting as if this present feeling, thought, sensation, I have to do something about it, or it will last forever if I don't take action on this. If I don't get the sleep under control, it'll last forever. And it's this forevering stuff that's got to go. It's the 1 foot in the future and 1 foot in the present that kind of has you stuck of like anticipatory anxiety, the what ifs. We go back to the past. Pay attention to where you're spending all of your time. Which time are you in? Are you in past, present, or future? Because there's a good chance anxiety is cranking up when you're going back to the past, when you're bracing right now for your ideas of the future, and you're in the present fighting all things that are not to be fought. Because that's energy that you have your body crank out and there's no place to kind of hook it to. So if I'm sleeping right now and I'm fighting what if I never sleep again, or I'm fighting how I'm going to feel tomorrow, this has nothing to do with sleep. This has to do with how you're fighting ideas of the future now. And your body just knows, oh, fight right now. Here's some energy to fight right now. So drop the fight of.
Yes.
All right. We're trucking along, I think. Halfway through the call, almost halfway through the questions. All right. Okay. This is a little bit long here. After I recover from COVID, I had so somebody had COVID, and then for a few months, they had to use the bathroom often as a result of, I guess, having COVID. Now the symptom has vanished, right? And my health reports from the doctor says I'm okay. Okay. So there was an actual physical thing going on that has now since been resolved, but you know how we roll. I already know what the rest of that question is going to say. But now my brain is conditioned to pee frequently, which I don't anymore. So I get anxious thoughts about it, or sometimes I get restless. Like if I haven't been to the washroom for a long time, that means my kidneys are failing. These kind of thoughts often linger around in my mind, even though I know I'm perfectly healthy. I have been daring as per the book and follow every session on the app. My question is, will my brain ever fully stop doubting my conscious self? Could
you please read just the last sentence? Oh, those keep lingering, although I know I'm perfectly healthy.
These kind of thoughts often lingers around in my mind, even though I know that I'm perfectly healthy. I've been daring as per the book and follow every session. My question is, will my brain ever fully stop doubting my conscious self?
So you gave the answer to yourself already. I know I'm perfectly healthy, but I have thoughts that tell me, what if I'm not? What if my kidneys are failing? You see, it's the same thing, just in another color. Yes, there was a real reason. There was danger, and you took care of yourself. You took yourself to the doctor. The doctor attested that you're fine again, and you know that. But there are these thoughts, right? And you are doing exactly what everybody else is doing. Oh, there is a what if thought, and that causes me discomfort. And now I have to fight that. And I'm waiting till these thoughts disappear. Stop it. Stop waiting till the thoughts disappear. Just stop it. They will not for a while. It's just how the mind works. There was real danger. Now it's reminding you of danger. And you have been, I assume in the beginning, you have been going to the bathroom more frequently, although you knew you didn't have to, but there was this discomfort that you wanted to alleviate with going to the bathroom. So there was some form of, a reinforcing behavior. So just accept it's going to take a while until those thoughts disappear. And meanwhile, while you have them, for example, oh, there's this feeling, I should go to the bathroom. No, I'm perfectly fine. Yeah, but what if your kidneys are failing? Well, if they fail, I'll notice, and then I'll go to the doctor. Right now, nothing is happening right now. If they fail, and that might happen, it might happen, then I will notice and I'll take myself to the doctor. This is how you diffuse those thoughts. And if you do that repeatedly, they will have nothing to cling on to anymore and eventually disappear.
Right. And if you were going to the bathroom every hour, you got used to acting like this, but now you don't have to anymore. So now it's getting used to something else. And it's the getting used to part, from taking it from getting used to doing one thing to getting used to doing something else that we are not good at, the getting used to process. And what you're doing is you're explaining how the getting used to process works. But when you fight through it, you keep oh, I'm doubting, it's important, but I still have those thoughts. Of course you do, because you're going from here to here. If you fed your dog 3 times a day, and then you're like, oh, he needs to go on a diet, we're only going to feed him 2 times a day, that dog is going to keep going to the pantry door when it's time for lunch until he stops getting lunch, and then he'll get used to the new habit. So this is really all about habits. What you're just describing is a heightened view on how habits actually work. And we're like, I don't like how this works. It's like, well, that's too bad. That's how human bodies work. You got used to going to the bathroom 1,000,000 times a day, and now you don't have to, but your alarm, again, now your alarm's past and future. But you used to have to go all the time. What if you have to go, right? And because I was sick and I went, well, what if I don't and I get more sick? It's just, we're lost in it's all this. Do you guys see how it's all similar? Even though we're talking about totally different types of content, it's the same actions and behavior that keeps it going. Thoughts linger until they fade, as long as you don't stare at them trying to make them fade. You cannot make yourself forget about something. You can only make yourself remember it. Okay. So this is the fading process. When you leave it alone, this stuff fades. And then you go back into a new habit. Oh, I feel like I should go to the bathroom. I got so used to going every, water cycle chart. Get used to going every hour. So I'm used to going every hour until I get used to going every 3 hours again. And it's allowing yourself how you act while you're going through the getting used to part.
Cool. So next question. How can I practice the feeling being trapped? I feel trapped in elevators, hallways, enclosed parking garages, etc. I always look for the exit first and Google the layout of places. And I want to stop doing this and practice doing, but feel embarrassed.
Yeah. That's a big one. That was my thing. I'm stuck and I'm trapped and I can't, and it, not only do I feel trapped, it comes with this feeling of urgency. Like, oh, I feel like I'm stuck and I feel like I need to get the hell out of here right now.
I didn't know that about you.
Oh yeah. Tied right into all of that. Who's got a trapped thing? And it comes up in weird areas that people feel weird saying it, but it's totally normal and common. Feeling trapped, not just like the plain old normal places that you hear, like in planes or in a meeting or in a presentation. MRI scan, but like in traffic, in a train. For me, it was car wash. The car wash, the drive-through pickup, if there's a curb and there's someone in front of you and then behind you and you're stuck forever because you can't get out. And what if I freak out and I have to leave, right? The supermarket, online, the shower, the toilet, in a car. For me, if I was in a car with other people and I wasn't driving and I was kind of stuck, got it? Or if I got dropped off somewhere and now I can't get in the car and leave, if I had to go, huge soccer field, right? Big open areas, elevators, right? That's the typical go-to one. But hairdresser, nail salon, because once those foils around your head, I can't leave for 40 minutes and I'm stuck, because usually paired with that comes embarrassment. So super common. And then when you fight through trapped, okay, and then you get through the hair salon and you get out of the hair salon and you go, oh my God, I survived the murderer hair salon. That's, you change that feeling of trapped by how you act when you feel trapped. Okay. So go out and feel trapped, but act as if you're not. Doctor's waiting room, great example, standing online in the bank, right? Wherever, like, I feel like I can't leave. Call bullshit on it. I can leave. I can even jump out of a plane. I don't necessarily want to, but like I kind of could, right? We're not suggesting that, but it's like, unless you're being kidnapped and you're tied up and you're in the trunk of a car, I will absolutely tell you, fight for your life. Kick, yell, scream, don't you dare. If you're being kidnapped, get out of there. But if it's, I feel like I'm being trapped, like I don't want to run out of there because I'll embarrass myself. You want to change your conversation. Remember, give your alarm a funny face and a voice and go, oh my God, you're trapped. You're never going to get out. Say, trapped? I could leave here. If I had to leave, I would leave. But since I don't have to leave, I choose not to. And it's like, I don't have to feel better. I don't have to calm down to stay here. I can feel heightened, but pay attention to your body too. If you're like this, okay, 3 more stops. Okay, 2 more stops. Okay, we're almost there. That's what you want to pay attention to. Those actions and those behaviors, not the train's almost gone. Okay, we got to my stop. Oh my goodness, I survived. Because then the train will always be marked as danger, trapped area. So it's, wow, I feel trapped, but I'm acting like this. I don't feel calm, but I'm not fighting. And you're going to drop the fight while you're there. And then you play with that. Do it for minutes at a time. Do it for hours at a time, whatever. The whole point of building yourself up is to not feel more and more comfortable. It's to get more confident at smaller pockets of time feeling uncomfortable.
And Elizabeth just wrote, getting my hair cut. I have left mid-cut. So embarrassing. You know what, Elizabeth? I think it's great. Everybody should embarrass themselves at least one time in their life. So you have a good story to tell one day, right? Everybody gets embarrassed at some point of their life. So instead of saying, oh my God, look what I did. Oh my God, look what I did. You say, oh my God, look what I did. I just committed the cut. Like I look like a crazy person with that haircut. And that hairstylist must have thought, what's that for crazy chick, right? Whatever. A lot of people every day, they leave meetings, they cancel meetings because they don't want to do. I have a client she has no social anxiety at all, but she can't call somebody. Isn't that funny? No problem with strangers, with friends, with crowds, but talking on the phone with somebody, hugely embarrassing. Right? It's bizarre, but it is what it is. It doesn't matter. So you left, right. Whatever, right?
Right. And embarrassment is one of the top things we all fight. We just tend to talk like death and going crazy seem to trump that on our phone calls, right? But it's like, what if I die? Usually the health anxiety stuff. What if I go crazy? What if I get stuck in this perpetual state of heightened anxiety forever? And what if I just embarrass myself? And what would others think of me, and judgment and shame and embarrassment? That's the top 4. So embarrassment. And if you're trying to not run. I feel like I need to leave because I'm having a panic attack. So I must attend to that. And I must not be embarrassed. You're just in double fight mode, right? So I don't have to fight anything. And guess what, Elizabeth, you left mid-cut, but you're still here and your hair probably still looks good, right? You got a few extra minutes on the foils. So it's like, okay, I felt embarrassed and I'm allowed to feel embarrassed. Embarrassment isn't danger right now. That was what my whole thing tied into. It was, I never thought I was going to die or go crazy. Who cares? To me, who cares? You go crazy. So what? But like, oh my God, what if I just, and everybody stops and stares and everybody looks and like, oh my gosh, that's that girl, Elizabeth, who left with her hair done. Did you see? Can you imagine that? Right. Yeah. And it's like, that's what you fight. And it's like, and then when you just switch it to like, you know what? And that's kind of why I have a potty mouth. Cause it's really like, oh, fucking well, I left. Oh, well, good story for tonight, right? Because then we brace ourselves for the next time. Oh my God, what if I leave again? Better make sure I see this is the problem. It's like, all right, well, let's see what I do next. Let's see, maybe I'll even go to Dunkin' Donuts. I'll get myself a latte with these foils in my hair. Oh, I even left with the cape. Oh, free cape, free anxiety cape, right? So it's like, when you drop the fight and the pressure, you're putting on this pressure of yourself to hang on tight against things that like you don't need to hang on for.
Yeah. I mean, I think I've made the experience that a lot of people react really cool if somebody tells them, listen, I really want to get my hair done by you, but I'm telling you, I'm going to have at least 4 panic attacks. So be prepared, right? So make fun of it, be open about it. Like rarely people will say, oh my God, what's wrong with you? They'll say, oh, I know that feeling. It's no problem.
Right. Because guess what? If you got a call and your kid got hurt at school and you were getting your hair cut, you would get up and leave, but you wouldn't fucking care. She'd be like, oh, there was real danger, so I left. And that's where we get stuck. We put, but I had to leave and now I'm embarrassed because I had to leave, right? But like, if you really had to go for a reason, if the hair salon caught fire, you would leave. But again, you wouldn't be fighting the fact that you would leave. And that's this, we can't emphasize this enough. This is what's keeping the problem stuck.
Cool. So how do you increase your willingness to feel fear or anxious sensations while driving?
Go drive and feel scared.
Yes.
A lot.
Yes.
A lot. And feel other things too, right? Oh, I notice I feel good. I notice I feel scared. What gets you motivated to do things? And if anybody here has ever been athletic or played any sports in high school or college or whatever, channel that. Like, crank up the music, forget the state of calm and peace and play some good music, crank it up, pull down your windows, say, I may or may not feel scared. And I don't know, but if I feel scared, I feel scared. But my goal is it's on the other side of fear. Okay. Here's fear blocking you because it thinks danger's on the other side. Okay. Take a look. What's on the other side? If fear comes down and you look through it and there's like the road ends, don't keep driving. But if there's fear comes down, what's on the other side is, oh, I'm just further from my house. I have to show fear that what's on the other side is unimportant in this situation. And then over time of me doing that, fear will show up less and less often. It's never a direct approach. So you kind of want to go out, you're retraining a puppy. You might not like the process of the dog pooping on your floor all the time, but if you're potty training a dog, the dog needs to eat and drink a lot of food so it can eat, it can poop and pee a lot so it can practice where it poops and pees. Okay. So it's like, you have to kind of have that situation come up. You need to feel fear. You need to let your alarm feel fear and go driving, take it driving. So you show fear there's no danger. So map out your drive, choose where you're going to go. Just go, just go, just go. And fear may or may not show up with you as you go along. And you may or may not be willing to feel it. That comes in time, right? Notice it. And then put your reward on what you did, the actions that you took. Not, oh, I felt it, but I didn't want to feel it. We kind of get so stuck like this, like trying to fix and fine tune it all. I went to the bakery. I said I was going to go to the bakery, period. Done. Check. Accomplished, right? Mission accomplished.
I mean, Stephen, shout out to you. I mean, don't make it a big thing, man. Just go and drive, show that it's something normal. I love that because there's so much truth in that. You show your body, that you show your alarm system that, hey, no matter how hard you ring, driving is something completely normal, and watch me act normal by going and doing that, although you are ringing, right? And I think, Rob, in your case, there's a little bit of expectation for it to feel much easier and less anxiety because you're exposing yourself too much. Let go of the expectations. Just do as Steven says, just because it's something normal. If you feel better right away, awesome. If you don't feel better right away, that's awesome too. It doesn't matter. Why wouldn't you drive, right? There is no reason to be afraid of driving, and your rational mind knows that. So act like this. And Michelle, I would like just to...
yeah, I see it here in the chat here. John's, okay, so I'm going to read out loud in case, I don't know if you can see the chat after the video is posted. I've been having difficulty swallowing for over a year now and has caused me to be underweight. I don't have a fear of eating. It's just my swallowing reflex gives out of me. It's very strange and frustrating. I'm only able to have a few shakes a day, and even that is difficult. I've had the lump in my throat thing in the past, and this does not feel like that sensation. What do you advise? Thank you. Okay, so the first thing we always advise, right, which I'm guessing you've done, right, is see the doctor, get some scans, see what's going on. And when you get a clean bill of health, then it becomes, this is the tinnitus thing. This is the more you're probably, every time you go to eat, you're like, all right, let's see how this goes. Let's try and swallow this hamburger. And I'm going to really pay attention to chewing it up. And I'm guessing, right, John, are you doing that? Can we pull people in on videos? No, I guess not.
That would be so great because, sometimes you have to ask a question. No, not at all.
So like if you're really trying to swallow and noticing that the thing is there, right? It's like, it's the noticing fact. And when you kind of go with this mindset of like, let's see. Let's just see if I chew and swallow. For me, I had a hard time eating because I was just so nervous, and my whole thing was around my stomach. And what if I get sick and I'm stuck here? And what if I get sick and I'm trapped here? And you see how it all kind of ties in. And so like, I would always kind of feel like this gaggy sort of feeling, and it would take a lot to get me to just eat. And I lost a lot of weight, not because I wasn't hungry, because I just couldn't do it. But it was like, if you're finding yourself kind of tense and trying to figure it out and fix this problem a lot, you're in problem fixing mode. Be more like this. Have shakes for now, if that's what helps. Find parts of the day that, like I tend to like not do well in the morning. I eat more at night, or I'm a little like, it's easier for me to have sit down and have food in the evening. Have food in the evening. And the more you focus on this globus sort of thing, which is a very common thing that comes up with anxiety, the more you find it, and the more time you try and swallow well, which makes it harder because you're like controlling something that happens automatically.
And also to add to that, John, now there are not a lot of details in your question, and some things I would like to ask you back, but we don't have time here. But if you can drink shakes, that means that you can swallow. So, and if it's the anxiety holding you back, why don't you tell your anxiety, well, you fucker, if I can swallow that shake, I might as well swallow that hamburger, right? Mm-hmm. It is really just a head thing, like, oh, I have no problems with the shakes, but I really can't eat solid food because then I will notice it more. And you can start very small, take a hamburger, whatever you like, or a banana, and take a sip of your shake, swallow it, and then eat the banana. And then another shake, banana, shake, and you can mix it up, and then you expand from there. But again, I'm sorry, I don't know if it's, if you had a physical examination, what your doctor is saying, what you have tried so far, but that could be something maybe, I don't know if you're a member of Dear Advanced, that would be interesting to investigate further.
Daniel, I see your question pop up there. You were like the first question we answered. So when this is posted up, you'll see we did a whole talk about like making decisions, and if you want to move, changing your mind and all that. So that was the first question. It's
my turn.
Oh, okay.
I recall Barry speaking somewhere in the app about the science part of anxiety.
Okay.
That really helped me. If you could address that, and possibly the vagus nerve, that would help me and maybe others. Thank you, Michelle. Michelle's a huge fan of the vagus nerve.
I love Vegas, baby.
This is why we're laughing, right?
So like you could find anything. It's the vagus nerve, it's your breathing, it's your posture, it's nose breathing, it's all, you can find lots of things. And of course, there could always be physical hormones, there could always be things that add into it. And the science part of anxiety, I mean, that's an easy Google, right? You can go look at your sympathetic, parasympathetic nervous system, see what happens to your body, see how when you act as if there's no danger, right? Your body will get that message. But again, for all my logical minded people, just for science in general, knowing logically what your body's doing is like a quick basic search on like basic anatomy and physiology, like just your basic sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system. Oh, there's your amygdala. Oh, it's shaped like an almond. Everybody loves to search that stuff. But once you know how it works, you're going to want to know, like, it should help you with your now what. It should help you with implementing DARE, not, it's okay, this is just my neurons firing a misinterpreted message from my amygdala that's bypassing the prefrontal cortex, which it's literally do nothing. Like, take that information and use it on how you apply your behavior. Oh, that's just my body thinks there's danger. Oh, yes, things are blurry because my pupils are dilated. Of course it is, right? And just use the science and the basic facts and information as a platform on what I do next. Okay. It's never so much about why when it comes to getting out of this loop. It's much more about your now what. So the science can help you explain why, but then how you act will put the focus more on your now what. Otherwise, people are stuck like doing, okay, I have to do my 47 vagus nerve moves, and I have to practice doing this, and I must breathe properly for 75 minutes. And then I must like do this certain stretch a certain way, or go to sleep with 50 different rituals to go to sleep. And you're in like over control mode. And it's like, just take all that information to know, to like, for awareness. And then like the implementation of your actions is what's going to help you get out. Yeah. Like 17 other things. We get so stuck in the steps, right? Stuck in grounding and stuck in all the things we do, probably to feel better. Did I do it right? Is it gone yet? And if those are the unspoken words, you can do anything, but it's not going to help, right? So yes. Attend to the vagus. It's fine. Do this stretching out there. There's certain positions to sit in. Do all those things just for your overall well-being. But if you're using anything, including DARE, as a weapon to get rid of, and then you check in, then you say, DARE doesn't work because I still feel, that's not DARE. And meditation, nothing's going to help. You can't get rid of things that are not to be gotten rid of. You can't like regulate a self-regulating system. And that's where we keep it on a loop. You let go and the system regulates itself.
Yes, and just one word on that. So what I think is really important to continuously remind yourself that, okay, this is biological shit going on, right? Because we tend to get stuck in, what is wrong with me? What is wrong? Hey, what is wrong really? Why you feel like this again? Why? Because there is no context. Like in anxiety, especially generalized anxiety, there is no clear context. Why the hell do I feel like this again? I don't see the fucking danger, so it must be me. I must be crazy, and so on and so forth. And the context, you become the context then. Your sanity becomes the context. Right. And in order to diffuse from that, you remind yourself that, oh yeah, this is just cortisol sensations, or this is just a drain. It's not a panic attack, it's an adrenaline rush. It's not only more accurate, but it's more positive. Okay, nothing's wrong with, oh, I feel sensitized. I have these thoughts. Yeah, you're sensitized. But, you know, somebody who is having a hangover is sensitized too. And somebody who comes home from a gym after a heavy workout is sensitized too. Someone going through grief or loss is sensitized too, right? So the biological function is the same. It's just that we like to put the stamp anxiety on it. And when it's called, when the brand is anxiety, but the product is the same, this is when we're like, oh my God, now there is more to do. There's this tendency to earth things and to fight it really fast, because if not, something bad will happen. So be aware of your branding, so to speak.
I like that. Yeah, because like, oh, I feel so disconnected, but I'm high as a fucking kite. So of course there's a reason for that. But when I have a feeling or when there's something happening, especially the health stuff, especially with your body, I'm having something and there's no actual reason for it. My heart is racing just because it's racing. Our reasoning is, must be something wrong. Danger. And we signal our danger response. And you were talking about diffuse, which actually ends up answering somebody else's question. Could we focus on the letter D of dare, which is kind of like you're diffusing, like fuse together, you diffuse, right? It's like, oh, this is danger, right? This situation is danger because of my actions. No, I'm going to change my actions. And by acting as if something's not danger, right? That's what starts to break the glue. It's, I always say, like, use the word just. Is it danger right now, or is it just a feeling? And then just identification of that diffuses this need for anything else to come afterwards. Oh, what's that? Oh, the rest of that's nothing. So it's kind of like catching the snowball at the top of the mountain. It's like, oh, there's a snow. Oh yeah, that thing's fine. That's just a thought. That's a thought paired with fear. But thoughts paired with fear don't require action. So my action will be identifying, oh, do I need to take action on this? Yeah, no, that is danger. Then I'll fight. But if it's, oh, thoughts paired with fear and it's just thoughts, no action required. So diffusing is kind of like identifying what it is you're fighting before you decide to fight.
Yes. And diffuse is my favorite step of there. I like the run towards too, but diffuse is my favorite step because if you're really good at diffusion, you can save yourself so much energy, right? Because you don't get into the cycle. And diffusion, like easily explained for thoughts and feelings, is just, I notice something. So I have a thought, so A, then I have a feeling, B, and then I do C. You see this chain reaction, right? Stimulus and my response to it. And when I'm fused with thoughts and feelings, this becomes this automatic reaction. Well, I have this thought and that scares me. And then I immediately get out of bed because I can't lie alone in my bed with these thoughts. So I avoid it. And diffusion means that you're breaking that chain and you're increasing your stimulus and response span. So instead, you're still thinking A, and you're still feeling B, but you now have the chance to do something else and not C. You could do M or L. You do something else. And it's this gap that you train yourself to increase that gap. Mm-hmm. Because anxiety doesn't live in the A, in the thought, and B in the feeling, but in your C. What do you do? Are you reinforcing those thoughts and those feelings by avoiding using safety crutches and so on and so forth, proving again and again, oh yeah, if that happens, then I won't be able to handle it.
Right. Your behavior reinforces the alarm, and the alarm makes you act a certain way. So it's the action that you get to change. So, and that's why everybody's tired of this. I know everybody's tired of this, but if you keep calling me and showing me this, oh, but Michelle, I got to tell you all about these thoughts.
That's great.
I'm going to show you this. Like, I know you feel shit. I know you hate it. I know it sucks. I know it's this, but I don't hear what comes after the word struggling with. I hear struggle, right? I'm struggling with these thoughts. I can't tolerate this, fighting, like trying to dare through as if I'm using it as a weapon. Like we will always hold the magnifying glass here. And so every time somebody's really trying to tell me about this, but what if, Michelle? But what if? I don't care about the content of this what if. I care that you are fighting an idea of the future. So it's learning out, wow, where's my focus on? And that helps diffuse too. What am I looking at? Let me see. Danger? Oh, wait. Oh, a thought? Oh, I don't need to fight that one. Right? So that's just a thought. So, and that's what you'll be able to identify them a little more easily, the more you take a step back and start noticing. So awareness will come first. Once there's awareness, then you can practice choosing, even if you already started fighting. Well, now I can choose to keep fighting and staring, or I can choose to let go and look elsewhere. And then you redirect your attention and focus. You drop your fight. You put all that energy towards things that are in your control to do.
Cool. Michelle, do you have to leave on time today?
I do. We could probably answer one more. I have boot camp coming up at 1:30. Anybody on here that's going to be on my boot camp call? You're going to be so sick of me by this afternoon. Let's do one more. If you have time, let's do one more question. Let's see.
No problem.
What's up next? Anyone that kind of encompasses a whole lot here. And you know what, guys, also use the Facebook pages as a way to search too. We have answered a lot of these questions multiple times. So even if you go, like, instead of posting the question, you can do a quick search in the top right corner. You can search a question and probably get a whole lot of information about this. Definitely, we've been trying to post more on our both of our Instagram pages. The Dare YouTube channel has a lot of free information out there. Like, our goal is to just give information out as much as possible. So, you know, we try and put it in all different areas. So if we didn't answer your direct question, definitely take a look at some of the videos and other places.
Yeah, and I think, you know, reading just quickly through the other questions, Michelle, I think we have answered everything, right? You can just fill in blank and you will have the answer. I think one that I would like to address, because I think this is interesting to a lot of people. Where is it now? Damn it, I lost it.
What was it about? I'll see if I see it here.
It's about how to, I have started to engage more, but I'm still white knuckling through my days. How do I stop that and start enjoying my life again?
Yeah. So you get to so look at that question. Are you on? Who wrote that question? Are you in the chat right now? Oh, it's so much fun to pull people up in the video, right?
Oh, that would be great. I would love to.
Oh, Katie, perfect. Okay. So when anybody sends in a question, think of which part of these things are in my control and which are not in my control. Okay. So I have started to engage more. Okay. But I'm still white knuckling through my days. How can I stop that and start enjoying life? So enjoyment is a feeling you get, right? White knuckling is an action you take. So you don't get to choose to enjoy life, but and engage doesn't mean enjoy what I'm doing. It doesn't even mean keep busy. It just means be where you are. But you can be like this. And whenever you notice this, you get to choose to do this. You all have the power to do it. There's no way we would keep doing this every month and every day and all this if it wasn't possible. If you have the ability to hang on for dear life, you absolutely have the ability to let go. So it's just, you kind of get a million opportunities. If you're hanging on a lot, you get the chance to practice letting go. Okay. And engage. I've been using the word involve more. Involve yourself in where you are. And the more senses you use to become, like, to involve yourself somewhere, the more engaged you will become there. People are trying to get engaged. Again, it's something that kind of happens after involving yourself in it. And like these calls, for example, we never had calls like this. They used to be audio calls. And before audio calls, like way back in the day, it used to just be emails. There was way more when you can hear, see, right? Like, talk to, the more involved you are in a conversation, the more you'll probably get out of it. So are you spending a lot of time involved here, or are you involving yourself here? So don't just like play with your kids like this. Yay. Okay. Yeah. Oh, good. Nice. Oh, I see that. Nice. And then you're stuck here. Involve yourself where you are. And then you will become engaged by accident. You don't purposely engage yourself, right? You can involve yourself and then you will become engaged. When you become engaged here, you will become disengaged from here.
Yes.
Right. And then what will probably happen, don't get disheartened from this, is that you'll suddenly be aware of being engaged. That'll step you out of it, which is okay, because this is the process. It's like, oh, wow, I was just been playing with my kids for like 20 minutes. Oh my gosh, wait, where'd that anxiety go? Oh shit, there it is. Oh, wait, hurry up. No, get back to engage. And then you're but that's the process. It's like, I can notice that I'm hanging on, and then I can let go of hanging on, and then just involve myself back here. And it's the getting used to, again, it's the part between I'm involved here and I'm trying to get here. Just spend more time here. You will not have enjoyment as a goal. You will accidentally, possibly, maybe notice you've enjoyed yourself for doing something once you've allowed yourself to fully do it, and not do something to get rid of something else. Just do something for the sake of having done it.
Exactly. And just to add to that, you know, sometimes it is, don't expect too much of yourself. It's normal, especially, I assume it's just an assumption that you're in the early or middle stages of recovery. it's normal that you will have phases where you white knuckle your way through. Nobody's perfect, and don't expect that from yourself. So it's totally fine. Don't put too much pressure on yourself. And, regarding engage, actually, I would love to change the word engage to connect, because this is really what it is about. It's about connection with your values, with what is important. I'm not engaging to not feel anxiety. That is a distraction.
Mm-hmm.
I'm connecting with what is important to me, what is dear to my heart, and what is valuable. And I always tell my clients, when you have those days where there's so much background rumination going on, you just feel lost, you just don't like yourself, you know what? Get lost in somebody else's story. Focus on another person, on somebody you love, or in making somebody else happy. Take the focus away from, oh, me. It's an obsession. It's about oneself, right? Me, and my thoughts and my feelings and how I feel and my progress and where this comes from. It's everything is so much about this what's the word in English? Neurotic. Well,
neurosis.
The neurosis, about oneself, this obsession with yourself, trying to say, you know what, I'm not that important today. My feelings and how much progress I've made, you know what, let me focus on my kids or my husband or my wife or my friends, or just get lost in somebody else's, in a good movie, or in a good book. Just take away that focus from yourself to something else.
Right. What you focus on is what's important. That's it. So if you're spending 40 hours focusing on your thoughts, you're sending the message that these thoughts are really important. Having them there or not there is important. I need to spend all my time looking at them because what I'm doing is showing importance. Not the fact that they're there, but how you're treating what's there. So again, like you connect with your values because that's what's important. And as a byproduct of connecting here, you show, well, this is not really so important. I'm attending to things that are most important. Not us. We're attending to things that are most uncomfortable, not most dangerous. Always stop life and attend to danger. But if you're stopping life and you're attending to thoughts, feelings, sensations, the same way you're attending to danger, it's the attending where you're stuck, not what you're attending to.
And you know what's so funny? Rob just posted, dark. Like
dark.
If you
DARC.
use a run towards and connect, it's dark, right? Let's dark today. Awesome. Okay, you guys, thank you so much for attending the call, for submitting those questions. And as we said, we're really sorry that we don't have time to answer all of them, but I'm pretty sure that we have answered all of them in one way or the other.
Yeah. And one more thing, just to quickly answer you should be getting a link to this by email. So if you sign up for this, check your email, then you can get a link to the recording. Hopefully at some point in the future, there's actually going to be a section on the app. Barry was saying this morning, talking about it. There's going to be a section where the actual video will be uploaded on the app. So you can go back and replay the video. And then in that section will be when the next call is. And again, if you guys like this format, if you like the idea of chatting more, again, we have what's called Dare Advanced. We're not pitching anything. We're just saying what else is here. You're already paying for the app. It's $15 more a month. And it includes 3 hours of like group sessions. I run 2 of them. Aida runs 2. Barry runs 1 of them. They're all recorded. They're all in the members area. It's a smaller, separate Facebook page that we post on almost daily. And again, it's not to get more information. It's to take this and like practice implementation of it. You can find more information about that on the website, dareresponse.com, if you want to sign up there. And I don't know, do you have the next group call for them? Because I had mine last Thursday.
I have my tomorrow, mine. So Michelle said we don't want to pitch, but you know what? I want to pitch. Because Dare Advanced is great.
It is great.
I know one person who became a member and said, oh, that was just such a waste of time. And if it's just for the sake of being surrounded by a group of people who are so loving and kind and supportive, and you can speak your mind freely without, being afraid of somebody taking this the wrong way or embarrassing yourself. And it's also so much fun, isn't it, Michelle?
It is fun. It's like a little family. It's
really
cool.
is.
And it's all Zoom. So you can come up and chat. Like everybody's on camera if you want to be. Yeah.
But you don't have to. So, and if you are somebody who suffers in silence, please don't do that. Don't do that to yourself. There are so many people out there feeling the same way, and you're going to feel so much better connecting with those people. Mm-hmm. So, official invitation to join Dare Advanced. I think you said it, Michelle. It's on the website.
Yep, dareresponse.com. And Yeah. And if you join, send in like a request to be on the Facebook page and post a little intro and say hi. And then if you're around, what time is your call tomorrow?
6 p.m. my time.
6. So 12, you're 6 hours ahead of me, right? So 12 p.m. Eastern time, an hour-long group call that Aida's running. And then you can even go back and listen to the old ones that are archived on the
Yeah, we have so many of them.
So many.
If you like this call, like we have, I don't know how many hundred more. You can go.
There's probably 6 months, at least the last 6 months archive, but I've had calls for 12 years. If you go back far enough, see all different. You'll probably see just the same hairstyle for me for the last 12 years. And the same shirt probably too.
Cool.
Yes, you can join anytime and you can unjoin anytime.
Yes.
The point is to not get you in and keep you forever. It's like get in, get things going, figure it all out, and then create this new habit and then continue on.
Yeah. And don't forget, like for $24.99, Michelle, $24.99, you have the premium app subscription included.
Yeah. So you're not paying for both things.
No, you have just, it's $15 more a month and you get to attend 3 group calls on Zoom with either Barry, Michelle, or me. So,
yeah. And I'll tell you, like the more involved you become in understanding how DARE works, you can really see it from DARE 101 to the DARE app subscribers to DARE Advanced. And it's not because like you're paying more for the answer. It's because you're spending more time using it. And they're like, you really get like a deeper understanding of how it works. And you can really see the questions and where people add. It's definitely different as you go into like the amount of time people are spending implementing DARE the right way. We offer 5 calls a month, and then you can pick the 3 that suit you best. We do it all different times and try and stagger the days to get as many people from around the world as possible.
Yeah. And it keeps you accountable, right? Yeah. And you see other people's successes. Like we have a few in the groups who really just come on to give other members advice who've been around like in forever. And we're so happy they stick with us because they're so valuable. But you can always take them and as an example of, oh, I will be where that person is now. And that person was once where I am now. And if you ask on one of these calls, did anybody ever?
Yes. Yes.
Never will you leave with a no out there because everybody has had everything.
And what's really cool, you see somebody, you join, let's say you join now and you go on a call today and you're like, everybody's doing so good. They have like fake anxiety and I've got like real anxiety. You can scroll back. You go back long enough, everybody starts in the same spot. Yeah. Everybody starts from the beginning. Everybody starts using the same vocabulary and the same words. So people that look great now, like this is you're starting now and they just started a little earlier. And that's why it's cool to have like a rotating people joining in.
Exactly. Cool. Thank you, Michelle.
Thank you, Aida. Always a pleasure.
See you next time, people. Thank you.
Bye, guys. Take care.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to the DARE podcast. The DARE app has over 1 million downloads and is helping people all around the world to overcome anxiety and panic attacks. You can download the app for free at dareresponse.com.